coffee.
Well, if no one's gonna drink this, maybe I'll just... Ugh, that's terrible. That's...
Ah, it's yummy delicious. Yes. So good morning, everybody. It's Friday, end of the week. Thank God. We are here today to talk about episode 9 of From. And then towards the end of the episode, I will talk a little bit about a new show on Netflix called Skull Island. It's a new Warner animated series. I keep hearing people go, it's anime. It's not anime. It's done in it's Warner style animation, what we expect from DC comic adaptations, whether they're good or bad. They have a very specific style. But let's get into, it's just John and me. I guess nobody else is coming on camera today. Oh my God. This is so much fun.
My makeup.
Your makeup's running.
No, she didn't show up this morning.
She didn't show.
So I'm going to have a chat with that girl.
But it looks like we got a few people here. We got War Monkey, we got Penny and Andy Morrow already in the house. I was talking to Andy Morrow this morning. And this afternoon we'll probably talk about a couple of things. Andy was the one that made me aware of that one story I was talking about before we started with the Wall Street Journal and the sub.
That anybody that served in the military at any time in the last 50 years, knows that the Department of Defense, the U.S. Navy, have oceans literally all over the globe wired.
Yep.
They know if a dolphin farts. Okay, they do. They actually do. And they knew the instant that freaking sub imploded, they knew it. That instant.
Because people don't know this with active sonar.
Horseshit.
I was
with the
today
mic
years
system.
old when I first
Okay,
thought
I'll
about
stop
fish
talking.
farting.
I'll stop talking.
Go ahead, Gerry. You can talk now.
No, it's okay. I'll wait. Yes, they have active sonar and they have the waters mic'd and they know what's going on. And an implosion has a very specific sound. It's almost like a bloop sound. It's very specific. And they heard the sub and they immediately investigated over the weekend right after it happened. And they saw the debris field. And Wall Street Journal was made aware of it. But the story wasn't released because they were told not to, because of a wag the dog moment. They wanted to use it as a means to distract away from another major story that might impact a certain administration.
I wonder what that story could be.
I don't know.
Could that be the Harry Truman administration?
That's what it is. Truman administration. I think Truman was probably, I think despite some of his shortcomings, Nixon was a pretty straight shooter. Harry Truman was very honest. Reagan, I believe, was very much a straight shooter, but Bush was not. Bush was a fucking liar.
Which
He used to be
one?
the head of the CIA.
And I'm talking
come
about
on.
Herbert. George Herbert, whatever his other name is, Bush.
Walker. George
Walker.
Herbert Walker Bush.
Big fucking liar. Big liar.
Huge.
He was a huge liar.
Don't trust anyone with three names.
Hey, it's
Hey, I have
Moosh.
3 names, Muzzy.
It's
Fuck you.
Moosh McFadden. Oh man. Hope everybody's
Well,
having
you
a
know,
good Friday.
Vicky and I were talking about that sub, and she said, "Oh my God, they must have been terrified." I said, "Sweetie,
No
trust
chance.
me, they went quick. It was there, and then it wasn't. Boom, that quick."
It's
Yeah,
like somebody suddenly opening a window. It's just poof, the air, and you're gone. No thoughts. An instant. I don't think they can even register pain. It happens so quickly.
it happened in milliseconds.
Yeah, it's just
that
and
depth.
kind of in a way, I'm glad because to drown or to suffocate is horrible.
Well, here's the other thing about that. That freaking submersible was not certified. They didn't try to get it certified. And did you hear the latest that the CEO of that wanted to go in a new, basically, he didn't use this word, but in a new woke way. He didn't want any 50-year-old white men with military service in there screwing with his subs because that wasn't the right thing he was trying to use to entice the young people into this underwater exploration. We don't
And
need
it's not
any
exploration,
old
it's
white
tourism.
men, okay?
Pure tourism. There's no exploration in what they do. This is what I dislike. They are, to me, these guys that do this are like predatory loan people. They're predatory tourism. And what pisses me off is when I was reading the research on this sub, that they only had 5 inches of hull, where the standard expectation is 7 inches of titanium with the mesh that they use mixed with it. On top of that, at the depths that they're going, apparently there were problems with the portal window, the way it was designed. And it was so bad that Josh from Expedition Unknown refused to go on that sub. There were too many safety issues. These guys are predatory. They can be as woke as they want. They're not going to get away with this. They're going to be sued into death. That company will never exist again. But here's what has to happen. Every country where these companies are from needs to be held accountable for these fucking predatory sub companies, tourism companies. They need to be held. Maritime law has been allowed too long to get away with shit. And now it's cost lives. And we need to get strict with this shit. That open waters thing is okay when you're fucking looking for stuff, if you're doing real research. But if you're a private company doing shit like that, you need to be answerable to your country, and your country needs to be answerable for you. Because they are going to be sued into oblivion.
Now, everybody in that sub, they sign a waiver.
Doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Waivers don't matter when something like this happens. Something as catastrophic as this that should have been preventable. 5 inches of fucking sub between you and that kind of pressure, when the standard is 7 inches.
Well, the window had 7 inches. I don't know about the rest of the fuselage.
8 inches.
And then they had the nerve to come out and say, well, we probably won't be able to recover any bodies. No shit.
No kidding. No kidding. Really? Those fucking assholes. War Monkey says, I was just reading about how the British company is claiming that they're well, of course they were blocked. Because of what I said at the beginning, that they knew they were dead day one, the U.S. Navy and Coast Guard. They were fully aware. they were dead. That this was a recovery, not a rescue. So of course they were blocked. What's going to hurt? It's not going to hurt anybody because they're already dead, and this company's at fault for it. It's not even vaporized. It's implosion where you are compressed. Just the idea of it, your human mind, I don't think you conceive of what that's like.
I'm pretty sure
Well,
it can't.
You're
It
compressed
happens
to
too
a
fast.
paste.
With that kind of implosion, the heat generated is like the sun. So on top of being crushed, they were disintegrated.
Disintegrated. Oh, it's just. Oh. Anyway, looks like Cam's here too. Who else dropped in? I see Decepticon's Cave of Comics and Toys is here. D. Bud Martin. Yeah.
Cocho Dragon. Cocho Butterfly Dragon.
Change the name?
I don't know.
Railway Nation Gaming is here. Did I miss anybody? No, I think I got everybody. Yay, it's everyone. So good morning, it's Friday. Yay, end of week, yay.
And
That's it. Thank you, D-Bud. That's what I was saying. Gross negligence is, you're not protected from gross negligence in a waiver. You can try all you want to. You will be destroyed. And they are going to be destroyed in court. But when everything comes out about the Wall Street Journal and all the people being put on hold after the Navy already was aware they were dead, this is going to come out. It's got to come out. We got to stop letting people get away with this shit where they try to pull a public cover up. But a friend of mine joked last night, you watch it was 6 months before the other side starts talking about, oh, there was barely a cover up 6 months after the fact.
Yeah.
I've heard from 3,000 degrees to 15,000 degrees based on how much oxygen was in the sub. Well, they were fully aired up when it happened. So
The temperature wouldn't have stayed up that long though, because the ocean is very cold down there.
They were only 45 minutes into it, so they weren't even that deep.
Were they? Because I thought it was pretty much right at the beginning.
They were almost 2 hours in.
Was it 2 hours? I thought it was 45 minutes, but if it was 2 hours, it's an 8-hour trip down there, so they weren't that deep.
But everything ended up getting to the bottom anyway.
Yeah.
They're part of they're part of that debris field now, permanently. I don't know if they'll actually do a recovery.
No. Well, there's nothing to recover.
There's nothing to recover, I know. Just the debris.
Yeah.
My cousins worked with the remote cameras for Cameron, and Cameron's already come out with some sort of statement that he should have stepped up. I don't know about Cameron sometimes. It's like he's a glory hound, and he tends to want to put himself at the center of everything. But he does know his shit when it comes to working subs.
Yeah, that's his passion.
He really does. The fact is they let go of a veteran, experienced worker because he was too white. And the fact there was concerns about the subs, the CEO only cared about is, Look, we're getting ready to see the end of this.
Absolutely.
ESG, Disney is already stepping away from ESG. We've seen the end of this thing because they've hurt the bank too much. They're doing too much damage. That's all they want to do is do damage. ESG.
Well, I think this thing about fighting the white guy for being white is just a cover. What I heard was the guy, he told that the design was crap and then he was fired.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I would not be surprised about that at all. I wouldn't be surprised.
So I guess they used the excuse of diversity to cover up the fact that they were being called out.
And everybody knows there's no excuse for forced diversity.
Yeah, this is going to sound kind of conspiracy theorist, but I'm beginning to think that these woke like BlackRock and those of those ilk that are pushing this ESG score and the white woke stuff is only doing it to break down companies so they can buy more of the companies.
Yeah,
That's so plausible.
it's because there's a big rumor going around that the left is intentionally doing financial damage around the globe in order to push one world government. That's out there too. That's part of the conspiratorial theories out there. And I wouldn't say that that's not what's happened, because look, everybody knows that climate didn't matter until they found a way that they could impact global economy. And then climate became a major issue. So, but good morning, Zach. How are you? Yeah, I just saw. I was saying something to him. And of course, Zach knows how I feel about him.
Hey, fuck you, Kyle.
Yeah, he knows that. But we do have a show to do today. We're going to be talking about From. So I'm going to play this.
Meanwhile.
So From is a little series that Dawn, Anima, and I really like. It's a really good show. It's season 2 had some bumps in the road for Anima and me. But the fact is, I still think this is a really good show. I love the cast. And I like where they're going this season.
But episode 9 was weak.
I'm not sure where they're going. But wherever it's going, I'm liking it. Yeah. So we're on episode 9. If that was something you didn't understand, we were talking about today, Anna. I heard you say something about the episode. It's episode 9. It's the latest episode. Because we talked about episode 8 last week.
I'm sorry you had to do it alone. I was stuck at the pet clinic with Loki.
That's okay. That's okay.
But I was listening.
Yay. So
Not fun.
The new episode starts off with that dude, where it ended last week, with the dude coming out of his house covered in blood and screaming, "Somebody help!" And
so Boyd and Kenny go in and they find his wife dead on the bed, all bloody and cracked and broken. And he tells them, and he tells them she was going to take a nap, and then she started talking in her sleep, and then suddenly she kind of broke. And before she died, she said, they touch, they break, they steal, basically what the sentence that Kenny heard on the phone in the last episode in his dream.
Which apparently is part of a nursery rhyme. We'll find out.
At the end.
But it's a gruesome situation because her entire lower jaw is split, and it's gross. This show does not hesitate in being gross, and I like that.
It really doesn't.
And you got to feel a sense of helplessness that, and this is what I kept saying, they're not having dreams, they're having manifestations in their mind. It's real.
And they feel helpless now because they got used to being terrified of the things, and they could be safe in their houses, but now their dreams are hurting them.
And this is the threat that this place has against you. Go exploring, see what happens. What's that rule? The fuck around rule.
Fuck around, find out.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Yes, sir. Now, fuck around and find out.
Did they see a burnt guy with a bladed glove at any point?
No.
Okay.
But I got to tell you, this episode starts off with that shit, and I'm like, holy crap, they've got to be careful with everything they fucking do. Because he goes into that lighthouse, or not the lighthouse, he goes into that castle and gets worms. And
from Chicken Leg Dude.
Yeah, Chicken Leg Dude. Chicken Leg George. And then, of course, Boyd leaves the house, and looks outside. And, of course, what's her name that owns or runs the cafe is out there.
Mrs. Hugh.
Kenny's mom, and the kid and his daughter. Both his, Jim's kids are out there.
Well, everybody is standing there looking at the house because everybody heard the screams of the dude. So they're all like,
but this
what
is
is
a
going
whole new
on?
threat. It's a whole new threat. And that's what this episode is full of, these fucking threats.
Yep.
And of course, we hear the sound of the locusts,
The crickets, yeah.
I love the sound of cicadas. I love the sound of cicadas. And I don't care how evil they make them look in this show. I still love the sound of cicadas.
I miss it so much. I've had it for 5 years and now I have city sounds and it sucks.
I do have a question. Where are they getting their food from?
That's one of the mysteries of the show, is that they've had food. It's just there.
Yeah,
And
now we
now
have a shortage.
all of a sudden they're running short. All of a sudden.
Well, they were growing a lot of food.
They were growing food, but there's also canned food.
Yeah,
and there are animals that were being left for them. It's really weird, like they're being kept alive. But
we don't get answers. We're at the penultimate episode, and we don't get any answers. Just more questions.
Yeah, and that's just it. It's the ever-growing mystery of this show.
Their food was distributed by Diamond.
Yeah. So Randall has, what's her name, Donna, tied to a tree.
Well, wait. Before that, Boyd tells Kenny and Julie to go around town and make sure that nobody is alone that night and nobody sleeps. He gives that order. So
everybody needs to stay awake.
Because dreams are dangerous now.
So
okay, first we've got to recognize something.
Okay.
These people are in a dire situation. This is, in essence, a kill or be killed scenario. Okay. So, in other words, everybody better team the hell up and recognize that what we've got here is a situation where we must depend upon each other. Now, anybody that's ever been in the armed forces, doesn't matter if it's the Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, Army, you're a team. There is no, and this is trite, but it's true. There's no I in team, okay? And you have a guy like Randall come along. Now, I got to tell you, Gerry, right up front, this guy was the big boulder in the middle of the road. And he either gets mashed down and accept what is, or you don't need him. I personally would have given that guy a couple of chances and then said, screw it, and put one in his cabeza. I would have.
Yeah, there's no question about it, because like you said, one of the worst things to get called in the military is an individual. If you get called an individual, what they're telling you is you suck. And that's what he is. He's all about himself. Whenever he convinces Jim a couple of times to work with him on some of his theories, and then immediately becomes the most threatening person in the room.
Well, he's a powder keg about to explode.
He is. And absolutely, in a dire situation like that, I'd have no hesitation putting that guy down quickly. The minute he posed a threat to anybody, I would have dropped him.
Well, that's what Donna did when she put him in the bus to live there.
Lady V's in the house.
I'm talking about there would have been no bus. He would have been put in the ground. Because people's lives are at risk. And that situation, like Don said, is a dire situation. It's, you don't have people like that because they are a threat to everybody's safety. You can't keep an eye on them all the time. You can't. It's humanly impossible. And so I would probably put him out in that thing, the trailer, and leave him out for the creatures to eat. Like, good luck. Because he is a threat to everybody's safety there.
And he's absolutely paranoid now.
Yep. Because, Jim's going along with him on some of his theories, but I've known people like this in real life that, it's like, yeah, you've got some ideas, but you're insane, right? Just saying, just because you're right doesn't mean you're not crazy.
Yeah, Jim kind of draws the line when it comes to some people among us are in on it. Jim isn't really convinced that Randall is, and that's why he has Donna tied to a tree, because he's so sure that she's in on
Well,
that
he's right.
experiment.
Somebody has to be in on it.
She just
Has to
turns
be
up
watching.
at weird timing. Like she turns up in places when it's just weird.
Yeah, but then again, he turns right around at some points, and you catch him, Randall, eavesdropping.
Yep.
And then he acts like he's not listening. And it's like, what the fuck is he doing? Because I said I don't trust him, but I don't trust him because he acts crazy.
Just like the doctor's girlfriend, the junkie. You got a very, very weak link there. One that you definitely do not need.
Yep. And she's problematic. I don't know what to refer to that as. Is she's not a real character. She's a device. The girlfriend.
Oh, she's just there to add drama.
Yeah,
She adds nothing to the story.
She adds nothing. She's just there as a device. And right here, there's that moment when Randall pulls that knife on Jim, throws him to the ground and pulls a knife on him. Absolutely. And Boyd comes walking up. Boyd should have shot him right there.
Yeah, but he just shoots the air.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, that'll stop things from doing this again, because this is going to happen again. When you have somebody volatile like that, it's not like if they're going to blow up later. They're going to blow up later. It's going to happen. And will you be there to stop it with your smoke wagon?
And we knew that immediately. Like the moment Jade got off the bus, even before that, on the bus, when Elgin vomits on him, that guy is going to cause trouble.
Yep.
And nobody does anything about it.
Wait a minute. I just saw Bush go, huh? He's drawing on the walls with his own poo, but he makes a good point. There you go. There you go. That's whack people. My problem with the way they write Boyd is the way they write a lot of military veterans. Is I had enough killing, so I don't want to kill anymore. It's like, look, not wanting to kill is different than being unwilling to kill. There's a whole world and fucking difference. Nobody's going to be quicker to pull that trigger, if necessary, than a veteran, especially combat vets. So I find that one aspect of Boyd kind of unrealistic.
But, I think having to kill his own wife damaged him.
Well, sure it did. Killing anybody damages you.
Yeah, but his own wife. So maybe that's why he's hesitant to pull the trigger on Randall.
Nah, I call bullshit on that. Even more so. It's become even more important too. Otherwise, he shouldn't be in that position. He shouldn't have taken that job. Period.
But he's the one most fitting for the job, so it was never a question. He had to.
And of course, this is why I'm so skeptical of Donna sometimes, because she, sure, it could be bad writing that she's like, "Are you back? Are you really back? We need you as our town sheriff." And then turns right around and starts questioning everything he's doing, questioning everything, every decision that he makes. And of course, that makes no sense. She's saying this one thing: we need you here to make decisions. But if you don't mind, I'm going to go back to my role of being a skeptic and doubting everything you do. That was annoying. And I don't know if that's because they could be setting her up to be the one that's spying on everybody. She's the inside man.
A lot of things point towards that, yes.
So, I don't know. You don't know. Because they do have bad writing in the show. They do. It's that entire character of the girlfriend, doctor's girlfriend. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Her being there seemed like contrived, but then Don, explained it to me. I'm like, oh, there you go. So there's control over who they pull into this universe.
Well, Randall asked Jim in the last episode, who is laying down the rules here? And Jim says, the priest, Donna, and Boyd. The priest is gone, or is he? So yeah, that puts Donna and Boyd in a suspicious position.
Yep. And we know that because of the situation with Boyd and his family, that he can't be the inside man. Also, because we've gone off with him alone and we solved his tribulations. So it can't be Boyd. So Donna is the clear.
Could be Victor.
Victor is, there's something up with him. He's a man-child. He's a child in his head. He's aware of things that he's not telling people.
And he doesn't want to go home. He doesn't want to go home. He says home is here.
It's just so weird, the whole thing with Victor. I don't think he's guilty of anything, but he is somehow connected to this place and doesn't want to go.
And he's withholding information.
Now, some of that information we find out is he's withholding from even himself.
Yeah.
Because we learn through his own memories, he had a sister who died in that mass extinction moment when everybody in the town died. So, Lady V is here. Morning, Lady V.
See, we have another guest.
Yeah, we'll have the chief in the
Patrick
house.
is
Hey
here.
guys, how are you guys doing? I didn't want to interrupt your conversation there.
Yeah, we're just talking about this show that we like.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, I don't think he's a good cop in the show. I don't think he's very good at his job. He's a bit of a hand wringer of a character.
Well, I work with a lot of those folks, that's for sure.
And yeah, you need people that are not like that in charge.
It's real simple. If you're there to lead, a leader leads. Period. Yep. Okay. Whether you think you're right, wrong, or indifferent, you do something. There is no way you can just sit there and wring your hands when people are dropping all around you.
Yep. Especially in bizarre ways, like in their sleep, ripped apart from the inside out. It's like, come on, man. It's time to get your shit going. But the thing that pisses me off about Randall is in the face, he's defiant with Boyd at the end of that scene. And Boyd's, give me the knife. And Randall's like, fuck you, and throws the knife out into the woods.
The keys.
He threw the keys.
The keys. That was what he threw. Yeah, the keys. It's like, you're a fucking asshole. Sometimes you just got to kill somebody because they're just too big an asshole.
He still doesn't take the danger seriously.
No, he doesn't.
From the things.
He thinks it's all an experiment. And he is your typical paranoid conspiracy theorist that's going to end up being right about, there's something going on, but no, dude, you're just fucking crazy. You're just crazy. And God knows, I think we've all dealt with people like that. It's like, you're insane. But I got to tell you, it's a great opening. We get a gruesome death, followed by the rescue of Donna from Randall. And how Randall doesn't end up in the trailer in the middle of the night, I don't know. Why he doesn't get chained up to be fed to the animals, I don't know. I get it.
Basically, Boyd gave away that. He said nobody else is going to go in the box. Nobody.
Yeah.
After that first guy went voluntarily in the box, the one that got drunk and left his family
to fend for themselves, and they got killed.
Right.
He had no weird choice there. It was the only thing for him to do.
Yeah, but anyway, before we go any further, Patrick, you are doing, what was it? I just saw your email this morning.
I'm doing the show with Treat Williams. So he passed away.
That was
recently.
it, Prince of the City.
So,
that was it.
Prince of the City. I think
great film.
I think I've seen a lot of his movies, and I think that's probably his best. Was probably his best movie. and Jerry Orbach's in that movie. So I really like the movie, but as soon as I heard he passed away, I wanted to do that movie. And I got a couple guys. One grew up in New York, so he's familiar with the 70s corruption, and he'll talk. He worked for the sheriff's department, came out here, and another guy that was from New York. So I got a couple New Yorkers that can talk about the movie too. So it should be good. Should be good.
I'm a big fan of Treat Williams, and there are two other roles he did. One was a bit part. It was a smaller role in The Devil's Own,
Yes,
about dealing with the Irish mob and the IRA, and with Brad Pitt, Harrison Ford, and Treat Williams as the guy that runs the underground there through the Irish mob and in favor of helping the IRA at the time. Good film, by the way. Not great, good film.
Right.
But another one that I really liked was the sequel to The Substitute that he was in, The Substitute 2. He was really good in that. And I consider that, even though I'm a big Tom Berenger fan too, I am a big fan of that second film. I think it was a better film than the first one.
Well,
good story.
Like I said, I think of all of his movies, I think this was the best. And it's when I first, well, who the heck is this guy, Treat Williams? He's great, a great actor. And then the story's great. And the interesting thing about that story is it is based upon a true story. I did not know that at the time. So,
I've been discovering a lot of that lately with some of the films I do on Military Monday. I will go and I'll do a little due diligence, and do some research. And I'm like, fuck, if that wasn't also based on a real incident.
He was actually encouraged to come forward to, I think it was called the Knapp Commission at the time, investigating corruption by Serpico. Another movie that's in the queue down the road sometime I'll do. But so yeah, I had no idea. I just thought it was a good movie. And then when I started doing research, it's real life. I'll tell you, in a couple of weeks, I'm going to have somebody on. We're going to do LA Confidential, and his grandpa started the gang squad for LAPD.
The Hat Squad.
The mobsters out.
Yeah, the Hat Squad. Those guys were rough.
When his grandpa retired, his dad took his spot. So he's got this long lineage, and he's a retired Long Beach cop. So I thought it'd be great to get him on and to do that movie because he's got the history and he opens up so many doors to so many different other movies, like the Gang Squad itself with Josh Brolin, right? Remember, is it Gangster Squad or Gang Squad? I can't remember the name of the movie, but Josh Brolin was in it. And Mulholland Falls, remember that one?
I was about to bring it up. I like the movie Mulholland Falls. I like the fact that they touched on the Hat Squad and their fight against gangsters, but then they went off the rail to do this whole atomic, weapons and the way she was killed, dropped from a C-47.
Well, and guess who was on that movie? Treat Williams was in that movie.
Treat Williams is in there. He ends up being a bad guy, as I recall.
He's the bad guy in the movie. Yes.
Yeah. Nick Nolte is in that, and of course the Irish girl. I can't think of her name right now. She's the one that's dropped from like 20,000 feet. Yeah. That is so gruesome, by the way, when they go to they're at the corner, and it's like a boneless chicken, just like she's just laying her limbs like
in the mud.
Like, oh, you didn't have to show that.
So I got some really good shows lined up. I'm looking forward to them, and things are going well. Getting good positive feedback. So
it's good stuff. I really like it. In fact, I liked that aspect of it, that we're going to be covering two films, Extraction and Extraction 2. And I've got Boone, the sniper from Benghazi, is former HRT. He worked with Hostage Rescue. He's going to be dropping in, and we're going to be talking about realism versus the Call of Duty action of Extraction and Extraction 2, because they're fucking awesome movies. They're fun. Yeah. But we're going to talk about the realistic side of hostage rescue and what would happen in a given situation that you see in the films. So Boone's a badass. I fucking love that guy. Don and I had him on Dangerous Military Nerds one day, and we talked a little bit about the shit that went down because Sarah was there with him. She was the one of the CIA liaisons involved with Benghazi.
Right.
She just happened to be out of town when it happened. She was up north. And so she missed the event, but she was involved with the investigation and everything. Her and Boone broke it down when they wrote their book on what happened in Benghazi. And I've already been trying to schedule with them. And by the way, Don, we may have to record that episode because Wednesdays are rough for them.
Okay.
At the time, I was the chief of Transit Police and Security, and so that was the anniversary of 9/11, the day that happened.
Yep.
And we were all geared up. I had extra staff on. I had bomb detection canines out there. There's things you do for open critical infrastructure like transit to increase your odds of catching somebody, right? And even though we didn't have specific information that we were being targeted, we were ready. And so when this happened, I was like, okay, wait a minute. Every major city in the country is ready. New York was ready. Chicago, everybody's ready. Everybody's doing something. But the State Department doesn't do anything in Benghazi itself. I mean, and they had intelligence that there might be something going on. So it was really.
And then the cover up with the whole video thing.
Well, and it was the security manager that Hillary had appointed that decided that, oh no, we're not going to do this.
Well, that simply shows the politicization of the entire administration at that time. And it was obvious to me that the best interest of the United States was not their primary concern. No. It was the occupant at the time of the Oval Office getting geared up for his next election. Yeah. Very simple.
Yes.
But nobody had the cojones to come out and say that.
Yeah.
It's true.
So, I mean, we're all ready. Why isn't the State Department and our overseas assets ready? Which is really frustrating to me about that whole story. But
yeah. By the way, going back to Treat Williams, I want to say another great film he's in is Deep Rising. That movie deserved a sequel. I was so pissed we didn't get it. What a setup at the end of that movie. Mm-hmm. But I guess we'll get back to From here. I don't know if you're going to stick around or what you want to do.
I'm not. I just want to drop in and say hello, and you guys have a great rest of the show. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right. Bye-bye.
See you Tuesday. All right. So let's get back to this. Where were we? From. So at this point, we go through the titles. And the next scene we see is Jade, of course. Jade's become one of my favorite characters. I don't know about you, Don. What do you think of Jade so far?
Well, I got to tell you, when he was first introduced, I would have been tempted to just pound the shit out of him.
Right? He was so annoying at the beginning, yeah.
But he's becoming an interesting character as you learn more about him. And
the dynamic between him and Tabitha is so good.
I do. I really enjoy the two of them when they're together. Tabitha, when she's not grunting and moaning in caves, she is an interesting character.
That episode sucked when she was just talking and breathing.
There was no dialogue. It was just her. And then in the microphone going.
I thought it was a porn flick there for a little bit.
Is this like Asian porn? What the fuck is going on? All these little noises. And I got to tell you, what's her name? Sarah's. She's really stepping up to the plate as a character. She looked like a frail, timid, fucked up person. Season 1 that leads to the murder of her brother, and now she's becoming a more solid character this season.
And she's making a valid point because Kenny brought her to the sheriff's office and is preparing to stay the night with her. And she tells him something feels wrong. And what if this place does more than feed on our pain? Because Nathan was scared of cicadas, and now they have cicadas. So what if the fears of the dead people manifest?
It's that whole thing again that I keep talking about with the manifestation of things, that the dreams aren't dreams. This is beyond Freddy Krueger level stuff. That everything, and this has led to you and me asking, is this like 1899?
Well, the implication was that Randall was asphyxiated by cicadas. That scene where he was on the ground and they were swarming him and going into his mouth.
At the end, yeah, they attack him.
You recall that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what's that?
No.
What do you mean, no?
No.
You said something.
Uh, forget about it. Let's roll.
But then that didn't say anything. I got to tell you guys, I love playing Call of Duty with Martin because we're in a room with a bunch of strangers, and he keeps going, "Hey, boss." I'm like, we got to sound really weird to everybody in this room because he keeps calling me boss.
They're not hearing us.
They can hear me. So I'm sure they could hear you. Although I did switch us later to just you and me, so we could talk, and you could hear me fucking bitch about team players sucking. The actor playing Jade is really good. I like him. He's a very good actor. But no, I don't like grasshoppers, Lady V. They've always bugged me since I was a kid. I don't like the chirping of. I like the chirping of frogs. I don't like the chirping of crickets, and I don't like the chirping you hear from grasshoppers. I think they're really freaky animals. Yeah, if I'm watching a movie and I hear the sound of grasshoppers, that'll freak me out. Cicadas don't bug me because they're very docile bugs. They're very docile. And one of my favorite hobbies, I told Anna about this. Don, did you ever do this? Go collect the shells of cicadas stuck on trees?
No.
God,
but
man.
I will tell you this. Originally, I come from the East Coast. Okay,
Right.
I've told everybody that I'm from Pennsylvania, but
and you don't sound like
out
with your
west,
accent.
Well, that may be, but when I moved out west, I was in Idaho for quite a few years, and you know the whole geography there. Number one was different than what I was used to, and the animals. Now, one year. And by the way, speaking of Idaho, they were civilized. And what I mean by that is you could go out and shoot the shit out of coyotes. Okay. Very big agricultural area, guys raising sheep, cattle, all kinds of stuff. They didn't take kindly to predators, and they paid a bounty on coyotes. Now, here in California, Christ, you can have them come up, get into your yard, run off with your pet cat or dog, and you can't legally, you can't do a damn thing about it. Well, up there one year, they had a shortage of coyotes. Now, see if any of you guys have heard of this. God's truth. So the jackrabbit population literally freaking exploded. You could not drive down the highway without running over a half a dozen rabbits. Honest to God. What the farmers and the ranchers would do would try to corral them in their pastures and literally, I'm not kidding, go out and play baseball bunny. They would go out and club these damn things to death. Well, one year we had an explosion of grasshoppers. And Gary, it was like something out of a freaking horror movie.
Those things freak me
out.
Yeah.
They were everywhere. I walked into buildings, honest to God, that had been invaded by grasshoppers. They had the custodial people come out with these big brooms trying to push them out the front door. It was freaking bizarre. So when you talked about grasshoppers, I said, "Oh yeah, shit, yeah." They are
not
weird.
A fan. Yeah, those things.
But did you ever hear a baseball bunny?
No, never heard.
Oh
of
yeah,
that.
What?
Oh my God, bunny! No, didn't you hear what I said? The ranchers and the farmers would corral these damn jackrabbits and then go out and beat them to death with clubs. There were so many, and they were destroying the crops. Well, who's the animal rights group? Boy, they went absolutely crazy. Yeah, PETA. They went nuts over that. But hey, you know, the farmers said, well, screw you. You come out and you do something with them, you know?
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. Look, corral them together and find a better use, because rabbit's good eating. I'm funny about killing animals and not eating them, except for coyotes. I've killed quite a few coyotes in my life. They're look, I like this one dude. He has a pet coyote, and this thing is a wonderful animal. But the problem is when they are left to fend for themselves, they can be very destructive. Coyotes. Another animal that they found interesting use for is groundhogs. Or not groundhogs, I'm sorry, prairie dogs. Because prairie dogs make great pets. Who'd have known? They have these things. I don't know if you've ever
Guess
seen
where the bubonic plague comes from, buddy?
Out in the Southwest. That's right. It's from those fucking animals. In fact, one farmer who got the bubonic plague got it because of a prairie dog. I remember one of the major cases of it. But what they've discovered, they go out there with this gigantic fucking vacuum cleaner. I shit you not, this really exists. And it goes and it rides over the holes that these prairie dogs are in. It sucks them up into the thing and dumps them into a big truck where they can't get out. And they're not euthanized. They're actually cleaned up and turned into pets. And people
when I was on the SWAT team and I was the assistant sniper, that meant I used the 5.56. Primary sniper used the 308. Right. Guess where we went out and practiced? Every chance
prairie
we got.
Dogs?
Yep.
They're so fucking weird. They just pop up. Great targeting. Oh yeah, I've strayed us too far. Let's get back to the show. We've only got a couple minutes for a break. So the next scene, we'll finish this scene up. Jade and what's her name? Tabitha show up at Victor's with them too, right? Anima?
You're jumping ahead.
No, it's the next scene. After the intro. After we get the titles, the first scene is everybody, Victor, Jade show up at Tabitha's house. And the daughter is there.
What?
This takes place right after the opening titles. Ethan's there. We're all at the house.
No.
Yeah.
I just watched the episode.
You know why I know?
I don't know.
I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at it right now.
I'm confused.
After the opening titles, it cut. You think I'm fucking around? I don't fuck around. Share screen. Present. Share screen. Share screen. Share screen. Here you go. Boom. This is the scene I'm looking at right now. And only seconds before opening titles. You've missed something.
Yeah, but there's nothing happening in that scene. They're just worried about Jim because he's out at the RV.
Yeah, but don't tell me it didn't fucking happen. So they're there to talk about stuff. It's a scene.
They're just worrying. I didn't think it was that important. I'm
Jesus
sorry.
Jesus Christ, I swear to God.
You're driving me crazy.
What? Mentioning something that happened in the show drives you crazy?
We've already covered the scene after that with Kenny and Sarah in the sheriff's office.
I didn't cover that.
I did.
I didn't. I was going scene by scene. I'm sitting here skipping scene to scene. So then we get to the scene with Sarah, and she's there with Kenny. And fuck it. Let's get a commercial break. I'm just getting frustrated.
All right, Skywatcher, take us away.
Take us away. Hi, guys. This is Gerry from Pop Culture Minefield here on KGRA, and we're leaving for our first break. I hope we survive.
Did you know 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated? If you struggle with focus, run low on energy, or when it's time to finally sleep, you simply can't, this can all be linked to dehydration, and Fuel Up has the answer. Our proprietary formula contains the finest cellular hydration with the strongest immune-enhancing natural ingredients. The Fuel Up system is made up of 3 different incredibly tasting varieties. Wake kickstarts your day with a jolt of caffeine. Play boosts focus while hydrating your cells. Rest not only helps you relax, but also rejuvenates your cells while you sleep. Here's what our clients have to say.
I really don't miss my coffee, and you can tell the difference.
So I'm going to take it for the energy. I'm going to take it for the play. I'm going to take it, all day.
And it works. That's the thing. It works. We love it.
Take the Fuel Up Challenge now, where we offer a Feel the Difference money-back guarantee. Fuel Up for life.
Hey members, the new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Oh wow, we survived. Welcome back to the commercial break. Now for some more Pop Culture Minefield on KGRA. All right. So, what are we talking about next then, Anima?
Yeah.
God knows I'm not running the show anymore.
Yes, you are.
Don't be like that.
I'm not being like anything. I'm just like, I wanted to talk about that scene, and I don't know where we're at now, because apparently everybody jumped ahead of me.
I didn't think it was that important.
Okay, so what are
They're
we
just
talking about
fretting
next?
because Jim is out there and it's about to get dark.
Well, I know that it's getting dark and the cicadas are out, and they're making the cicadas look horrifying, like bats flying in the air with the sound. And then we go back to Hill House, or whatever they call it in the show, Hilltop.
Colony House.
Colony
House, yeah. The dude whose wife died is going crazy. He tells the people at Colony House how his wife died, and he's completely freaking out.
And he's also causing panic.
Yeah.
Again,
And why is
that's
Donna not here?
Well, anybody that's in control would want to control this guy. Don't leave him alone.
Yeah, but the thing is, Donna isn't here, and that's her job. She's the one controlling things. So now what's her name? Fatima sort of has to take over. And nobody knows where she is, and that freaks people out too. Because she's always there at night.
And she's still dealing with the situation where she was tied up by Randall.
Yeah, but they don't know that.
Yeah, I know.
Because Randall came to apologize to her and probably go for a walk and talk, and then he.
I'm surprised she didn't bring her axe.
Where she is.
Donna should have grabbed her axe.
I don't think Randall could have tied her to a tree. That's wrong. She would have knocked him out or something.
So you're saying that
how did you do that?
You're saying that there's a possibility that she worked with Randall?
No, I'm calling bullshit on the scene, because how could Randall overpower Donna? That's like unrealistic.
Maybe she likes to be tied up.
Jesus, John. Mind out of the gutter.
Well, you never know.
So they're still out there in the woods at the, overturned RV. And so in the next scene after Colony House, we go to the RV. They're inside. Randall's getting anxious.
Yeah, he freaks out, so Boyd handcuffs him.
Yeah, and they've got the talisman they're hanging up, but it's starting to feel like the talisman maybe is only useful for certain things.
Well, this is where Boyd gets his opportunity to test his treated bullets.
The silver bullets, yeah.
That's right, with the bile treated bullets. And
he has his hands full with Randall freaking out, and Jim wants to get back to his family, and it's almost dark, so it's a tense situation.
Randall is being typical antagonistic in the scene. And Jim, is stressing because he's worried about his wife and kids. And Boyd doesn't have to worry about any of that because he his son's an adult getting married or got married, and and he murdered his wife, so he doesn't have to worry about his wife anymore.
I don't think they're married yet. They just agreed to do it as soon as possible, but there's no priest.
Something like that. Look, they're in a world where there's no priest, so in the ancient Bible, it was like you lay down next to a person, you're married. That was the old way.
And during colonial and early 19th century, you could jump over a broomstick and you were married.
There's some crazy shit from the past.
Absolutely crazy.
Jumping over a broomstick, just like, what?
Yeah, I'm not kidding.
Well, I did it accidentally. I'm married. I didn't want to trip. Nope, you're married now. Sorry, son. But so I'm trying to remember. Randall, he handcuffs Randall and handcuffs him to the radiator or something inside there, didn't he?
No, he just handcuffs him.
Because I remember there's a radiator in that scene.
Yeah, but he doesn't tie him to anything. He just handcuffs him.
Should have shot him in the knee and thrown him outside.
Yeah, pretty much. You really want to mess with somebody, don't handcuff them in the front, handcuff them around their back, and then put them in the low sitting position. Good luck getting out.
That was weird.
And Donna's there. I think that's it. It's Donna, Jim, Boyd, and Randall trying to stay alive in that RV. And it's like the first night in the RV. It kind of reminded me of that when the priest was still alive. So the big thing is that when the creatures start showing up, panic ensues, and Randall says, fuck it, and kicks his way out the back window.
Well, because the creatures, they approach the RV, and then they stop. And that's
they stop
not
and they just smile.
Do.
They're all smiling at them.
Yeah. And it's untypical behavior. And then the music starts.
That's right. Everybody can hear it over the radio. They can hear the music box playing. And then there's another scene where they're at Hilltop again, the colony house, and Dr. Girlfriend is about to lie down. She's not feeling well because she's a junkie and all that. She's going to go lie down, and the easy to panic doctor is there with her because she's a terrible doctor because she panics too easily, gets all emotional.
Oh yeah.
And so she's there with her, comforting her. It's like, good, lay down, and all that shit. And that, of course, ends badly for Dr. Girlfriend because she starts to have a dream, the manifestation dream of the cicadas.
It's not a dream. She's not asleep. She's not asleep.
Yeah, but I don't recall them seeing the cicadas.
No, nobody sees them, just her.
Yeah.
But she's awake. About. She's not sleeping. She has a vision of them.
I don't know if they're coming from the cave because that's not where they started. Because first they were worms, and they got into Boyd's blood from Chicken Leg Man. And
then Boyd gave it to the creepy grinning guy that we have here in the picture.
Yeah, in the photo.
And then they did an autopsy on his body, and the next time they checked on his body, there were cicadas all over him. So the worms turned into them.
It's some crazy shit, dude.
It really
and
is.
Then we're still at Hill House or Colony House, and I can't remember what's going on there. It's just
Alice takes Christy and her girlfriend to a room that they use for people who are having a rough time.
She's going to lie down because she's not feeling well. Right.
It's all organized chaos there. The whole colony house is in chaos.
Yeah. And Alice is worried about the baby because can it be harmed if Fatima isn't supposed to sleep? Can that harm the baby? He's very concerned about that. And he still hasn't told Boyd because Donna interrupted that.
Bush just said something funny. Chicken Leg Man is 100% Jafar in disguise from Aladdin. So we get to see Boyd's son and crying doctor have a scene together. We now cut away and we're dealing with Tabitha and the drawings with Jade. They're looking at all the drawings. And I think this is where the discovery, isn't this the discovery of the lighthouse? Where they're
Yes,
talking
there's one picture of a lighthouse, and Victor's pictures, they come from his mother's stories. So his sister drew the stories that the mother told them. And Jade is freaking out because why am I having visions of stories that a dead woman that I never met told her kids? Why do I see this? And then Tabitha discovers the picture of the lighthouse. And she tells him that she has had visions about the kids.
That's where she has her revelation. Oh my God! What if they're not trying to hurt me, but they want my help?
What if they are just asking?
And that's how it seemed to me. It didn't look like they were attacking her. It never did. But I could see where, having that happen to you would be freaking you out. Like little cancer-looking kids are just awful looking, pale, dark rings. And
they look like they climbed out of a concentration camp.
Yeah, there you go. And it's just how freaky that would be. But and then there's a scene in the living room with Ethan and what's the daughter's name? Julie and
Victor's there too, and Mrs. Yu wants to play board games to kill time because they can't go to sleep.
Gotta stay awake.
And Ethan is worried that everybody might die, like when Victor was little. And Victor says, no, it's not going to happen again. And he tells him his mom always said everything is a story and we get to decide how it ends. And Ethan is being a little shithead and he throws it at him like, so did your mom's story end the way that she wanted to? And runs out and Victor is just like mortified.
Yeah, that was actually a really good line now. Showing that Ethan's on top of things and says that. I'm like, fuck, Ethan just burned the shit out of Victor. Then, of course, we're back at the caravan, and
Boyd is putting the bile on the bullets.
Yep.
And Randall is an asshole, as always, and it's like, yeah, that's not going to work. So Donna challenges him, so give Randall the gun and have him go out, because he's not afraid to go out. He's not afraid of the things. Because Randall is so sure that it's an experiment and they're trying to break people and he's not going to be broken. So he's just acting against anyone and everything.
And then, of course, Boyd unhandcuffs him at this point, and which made me ask, why did you bother handcuffing him in the first place? If when the threat arrives, you're going to unhandcuff him.
Yeah, to send him out with the gun. He has to uncuff him.
And it is a creepy scene because under the moonlight, they're all just standing there staring at the caravan and
the
smiling.
Music. The music is playing.
Dancing with the devil.
In the pale moonlight?
Yes.
Yeah, I asked that of all my victims. So, too many white kids. That's why they're terrifying. And of course, that's coming from Zach's, the whitest guy I know. There you go. Lack of diversity. You should own a submarine company, Zach. Statements like that. Too soon? Is that joke too soon?
Apparently not. It happened a week ago.
But then we cut back to Colony House, and she's freaking out. Dr. Girlfriend.
Yeah. Shut up, Luki.
It's not the DTs, I'm telling you. Man, even the DTs are a nightmare in this place. So
Christy
they have this.
Tries to calm her down, and Marielle tells her, "I need to be put in the restraints. It's the safest way."
Which, of course, is a setup for. Like I said, she's a device. She's not even a real character. I dislike that in writing when somebody creates somebody that is a diversity check mark just to make a point with them. He was an Eskimo or equivalent racial slur. Yeah. Inuit.
Inuit, yeah, that's the word.
When I was a paramedic up in Seattle, there was the Muckleshoots and the Inuits. And, boy, we had some situations dealing with stuff like that. Scary ones. Then we cut back to the, I think it's the police station.
Yeah, sheriff's office.
We got Sarah and Kenny hanging out.
Sarah tries to make small talk, and it's really awkward because she also tries to apologize, and Kenny just doesn't give a fuck.
I don't want any of your apologies, bitch. You killed my daddy.
The dialogue is so bad because she's just having a pity party, and I didn't want any of this, and I'm so sick of this, and blah blah blah. And Kenny just tells her, "Yeah, there's a spare gun in the desk drawer, so maybe use that."
Improvise, adapt, overcome.
Or, I love that in Hamburger Hill when he said, he's a Marine. He improvised, overcame, adapted.
But it's so stupid because he tells her about the gun and leaves the room. And when he comes back, she has the gun out on the desk and he's freaking out about it. He just told her to use it. Like, what? I have problems with this episode.
There's nothing worse than people whose only job in a story is to deliver empty threats. I hate that. They're ineffective people who do empty threats. And that's what he did. He gave her an empty threat by telling her the gun was there. And then when he comes back in and she's ready to off herself, suddenly he has a change of mind.
It's just, it's weak.
And then, of course, at the house again, you got the husband whose wife died at the beginning of the episode. He's freaking
out. Yeah. He's completely freaking out. But that doesn't help the situation because everybody is very, very nervous. Because at some point you have to sleep, but now dreams are dangerous.
Yep.
So who wouldn't freak out at that?
And there's nothing worse than being sleep deprived. That causes problems all of its own. The one thing I do find interesting is this show follows the theme of villains that don't run. The bad guy chases you, but he's not running, but he's still going to catch you. Because these creatures, they just walk. Hey, where are you running to? Okay, we'll see you there. And it's also they start having electrical problems in the caravan. What was that about? It was kind of like weird.
Just a plot device.
That's all it was. I feel, though, that in the end it's going to mean something. That when something happens, all of a sudden everything electrical, because this world runs on Tesla in the fact that the wires don't go anywhere. They're not connected to anything, and yet there's power. So clearly the power is in the air. And I still think that if they find better ways of capturing that, they could get the antenna thing to work better. Maybe building a Tesla cage.
Yeah, also they don't have the keys to the RV anymore because Randall tossed them, yet they have light. Even though the engine is off.
I've been waiting 2 seasons now for somebody to come up with a grand idea that maybe what we need are machetes.
Yeah. Yep. Because, he cuts that one's throat, and that's how he infects him. Even though it didn't kill him, but maybe decapitating him does. And what's up with Boyd's vision of his wife there when they're trying to escape? Randall goes out the back window, and when he escapes out the back, they go the opposite direction through the front. And then Boyd turns around and looks, and there's his wife. Whenever the light is on, she's there. And when the light goes off, she disappears. When the light comes back on, she's there. What the fuck was that about? Is that another device?
He almost falls for that too. But then Donna calls him because Donna and Jim made a run for the van to get back to the town. And they got the van going. And she calls Boyd, and that's when he snaps out of it.
Where the hell are they getting the gas?
Well, that came about when they burned the body last episode. It's like, first of all, gas has a shelf life. People forget that. They think gas is just gas.
Yeah, but they have to bust. They have to bust, so that would have had some gas left.
Well, gasoline, no. Gasoline, when it ages,
breaks down
because it breaks down. It's a mixture. Gasoline is a mixture, and it's people think, well, gasoline is flammable. The liquid is not. You can put out a fire with the liquid. Fact. I've seen it done. It's the gas itself, hence the word gas, because there's gas mixed. It's infused with it, and as it ages, it unfuses, just like soda. You leave a soda open, it loses the CO2. It's the same process of how gasoline
we have
works.
breach.
You have a breach. Backdoor Randall. There we go. This is, I believe that we've heard about Elon Musk who's going to fight, what's his name from Meta, Facebook.
Zuckerman.
Yeah, they've agreed to do an MMA fight. And I said, if Elon Musk could win if he fights like Jim Carrey, but more accurately.
There's a camera on my back.
What the heck was that?
Dirt in her face.
Elon is just going to hack Zuckerberg.
Yeah, something like that. And then what was it? I think Nick Weiser said that what's his name, played by Justin Timberlake in the movie, is gonna win because he already does jujitsu and all this stuff. And my response to him was this:
From laps with your 4 wins.
Because my money's on Elon Musk.
No.
He's bigger than him, taller than him. He's got greater reach, and
older
and
and out of shape. He's utterly out of shape.
He'll be in shape before he fucking fights. That's a funny thing. You guys crack me up. It's like, he's just going to go in there as is. He's not going to train at all.
Do you know Zuckerberg is a fighter, right?
I don't.
He has won tournaments.
I hope he chokes to death on his own vomit. I can't stand Zuckerberg. I cannot stand him. So now they're going off into the woods, and this is where Boyd gets to try out his bullets.
Yeah, but they don't do anything yet.
Well, not immediately, and we don't know yet. We don't know if they do anything.
Because it took a while. It took a while when he infected the grinning dude.
It took approximately 1 minute for the direct contact of his blood to that thing. Now we're dealing with something else, and we don't know what it is. And Randall's running through the woods, and guess what happens to him?
The cicadas attack him.
Yeah, wide awake, running through the woods, he gets attacked by the cicadas. And they're going into his mouth right as...
Yeah, I was like, close your mouth, dude. Why does he have his mouth open?
And then we cut back, and there's Kenny walking back into the room, told her all about the gun. She got the gun. All of a sudden, maybe I shouldn't have said that. He's one of those characters. God. People that run their mouth and then realize, fuck around and find out. Oh, there he goes. He was fucking around, and now he's about to find out. And so she's got the gun out, pulled all the bullets out, and she wants to play a little Russian roulette.
Yeah, she puts in 2 bullets and says, "So okay, now it's out of your control, out of my control," and shoots at him.
Which is a dumb response.
Points the gun at herself.
Somebody's pulling that trigger.
Yeah.
Who's pulling that trigger? The person in charge of the moment. That's who.
Well, he freaks out and takes the gun from her before anything can happen. It's just, it makes no sense.
Twice. She pulls the trigger twice.
Once on him and once on herself. And she has 2 bullets in there, so.
Yay.
It's just so stupid that he tells her to use the gun and then she's about to use it and he freaks. Like, what the fuck?
All I know is her pistol use was a piss poor use of the Don Ecker method.
What?
I don't know. I was seeing if Don Ecker would respond.
Well, I'm waiting to hear what my motif is there, pal.
I don't know. I just made it up. It's more of the fuck around and find out kind of thing.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, there are a handful of people there that I would grow very tired of pretty quick.
Oh, you and me both. You and me both. Randall wouldn't have survived with you and me. We would have offed that guy. Just send him out in the woods. You go fend for your fucking self. No, we're not going to give you the bus.
And Jade, early on, he would have been among the missing.
Early on, Jade, yeah. But I have to say, in season 2, Kenny is annoying as fuck. I didn't have a problem with him in season 1, but in season 2, oh my god, they destroyed his character.
Such a puss. He really is. Whiny bitch. That's what he is.
Yeah.
The black
his mother's got more on the ball than he does.
Yes. I like her character this season.
And Christy losing it all the time. They ruined those two characters in season 2.
Yep. And the one kid, the new kid, I can't think of his name. The one
Elgin, the black one?
Yeah. Elgin. I like his character, even though he's a little bit weak, comes off as weak. But I do like the way his character thinks in the show.
I wouldn't go that far.
Okay,
because he showed some internal strength when Boyd went out to confront that monster. He was willing to run out and grab the vehicle.
That truck. That's right. He grabbed the vehicle. That was ballsy as hell.
He always wants to do the right thing and be a good kid. That's what makes him seem a bit boring, I think. But
but I like his character.
He
like
shows some guts
willing
when he goes to get the truck.
Well, his willingness to test out the theory in the water that leads to the nightmare of mummified Fatima trying to
drowning him.
But speaking of Fatima, because now we got that scene where we're in the house and she's talking with him and that lady from the bus with the drugs.
He's teaching her how to crochet, and Tabitha goes by and she tells her, "You're doing a great job managing the situation here with Donegal, and you'll be a great mom." And Tabitha is like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm a mother and a grandmother. I can tell when someone's pregnant."
That's bullshit.
Something's up with that woman.
Yeah, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. I just found that to be just a hunk of bullshit. There is that she had morphine. I think she's a plant.
Yeah.
Not like a plant like growing out of the ground, but a plant by these things that's running this thing. I think she was on that bus for a reason.
Yeah, I got vibes about her immediately.
Oh, the whole dancing in the fucking rain thing?
That was so weird.
It was too bizarre. Like, I would have like, hey, lady, you want to knock out the crazy dance thing? Yeah, you're weirding everybody out.
This is how Boyd finds out that he's about to be a grandfather, because he's there. They have arrived at Colony House, and the old lady tells Tabitha she's going to be a great mom, and Boyd just looks at his son like, what? Because
this is also the scene where Dr. Girlfriend sees the cicadas and she's tied into the bed conveniently.
Yeah.
You know,
Christy leaves
again,
to get her some
she is just a fucking plot device. She's not a character. I dislike everything they do with her. They made her an uninteresting character.
And unlikable.
She's absolutely, it's worse than unlikable. She's dislikable. You dislike her. You want her to die.
She's just unnecessary, completely unnecessary.
And then, of course, Doctor, walks into the room and is freaking out because she's freaking out, and there's no cicadas. It's all manifested in Dr. Girlfriend's mind. Boyd's downstairs, like you're saying, and finds out about the pregnancy. And
Jim still wants to go to his family. And Boyd tries to stop him, and then Christy calls for help. So Boyd goes upstairs, and the girlfriend is in a coma.
Yeah, and of course, the funny moment is when he draws the gun on Jim, points the gun at Jim, and I'm like, what are you doing?
That's always Boyd's answer, is drawing his gun.
If he wants to go out, let him out.
Yeah.
Let him fend for his damn self. You don't point a gun at him. It's so dumb. He wasn't threatening anybody. He was wanting out on his own. And of course, Boyd goes into the room and gets to witness everything happening with Dr. Girlfriend. And she's now going into a catatonic state and her eyes are glazed over, which is the weird part.
I thought she was dead. But anyway, Christy's freaking out and Boyd, thankfully, tells her to keep it together because that's the only thing she can do for her girlfriend is keeping it together.
Yeah, apparently, she didn't learn that in medical school, that you don't lose your shit. You got to have at least self-control in the medical field.
She was such a good character in season 1, and in season 2, she's losing her shit all the time. Like, no.
Stabbing the dead body and crying while doing it.
I hated that scene. I fucking hated that scene.
But so now we got the powwow downstairs going on. And what's the kid's name again? Elgin?
Alice gets Boyd because Elgin remembers the dream he had on the bus.
And he begins to describe it to him.
Yeah, and he says he dreamed about a boy, and he repeated the sentence: "They touch, they break, they steal." And the bus driver says, "Yeah, that's
right." The bus driver says, "That's a rhyme from my childhood."
Rhyme, and she sings it. So,
do you remember what the rhyme was? Did you write that down? Because I can't remember what it is.
I did. Hang on. They touch, they break, they steal. No one here is free. Here they come for 3 unless you stop the melody.
Stop the melody. And then immediately we cut to the final moment of the show, which is between Tabitha and Jade and the lighthouse drawing.
Because Jade is looking for a connection. He says that everything is connected and we need to find that connection. And she tells Jade, maybe the lighthouse is the connection. And maybe saving these kids there. Because Victor's mom told him she would go to save the kids that night where everybody died. So maybe saving those kids is the way to go home.
Well, exactly. And right at that moment, Julie drops to the ground and she's clearly being attacked by the invisible locust.
Yeah.
Cicadas.
No one can see them, but she's screaming and trying to fight them.
And her mouth goes wide open. That's the last thing, is her mouth going wide open. And the episode ends. It's like, oh no.
One more to go, and I don't think we'll get any answers in the last one.
Yeah, it's the 10th episode, the final episode of the season. And I just feel like even if we discover something new, it's just going to cause more questions. So
I got to tell you, the last 3 or 4 episodes, the ending, I felt cheated.
This is Lost all over again. I'm telling you guys.
If it goes that direction, it will not end well for those guys. I got to tell you, man, stick with whatever your idea is and follow it through to the end. Do not change up mid-season because somebody guessed what you're doing. But I'm hoping it doesn't go that way. I really am. I'm hoping we have something that's akin to 1899 here.
But with an ending, like a proper ending, because 1899 left us hanging in the air, and I hate that they did that to us.
Literally in space.
Yeah, we need closure. Give us a movie, something, please.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was going to say. At least give us a movie.
Hey, they did it with the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
I never did watch that final movie. What was that good?
What, Sarah Connor?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, look, like in anything, it had a few weak episodes, but I freaking loved that series. I really did. And Lena Headey, who played Sarah Connor in that, was amazing. She really pulled that off. She really pulled that off.
Yeah, no argument there.
And Summer Glau, who would have believed Summer Glau as an android, as a cyborg?
I like her as an actress. Amazing. She is so good. She was so good in. I didn't watch this show as much as I enjoyed the movie.
I've only seen her in Firefly. I don't think I've seen her in anything else.
The movie was better than the show. That's right.
I liked the movie.
However,
I did not like the show. But she was really good. And when she became the warrior in the movie version of Firefly, holy crap, her fight scenes were awesome. So
yeah, well, she's a dancer, so that helps with choreography and stuff.
And she's good.
She's really
very good. But I haven't seen her now in years. Is she still working?
Let me go look and see what she's doing.
Yeah, because the last thing I saw her in was the Firefly movie.
She's probably a mom with 4 kids by now.
Good for her.
Well, you see a lot of these actors just leave Hollywood to go have a life. Let me go see what she's doing. Let's see. I'm going to go to IMDb. Where's IMDb?
That's at imdb.com.
I'm looking
Thank
at my
you, John.
screen.
That was helpful.
Fuck you, John. Summer Glau, she's not done anything.
But hey, he spoke.
Look at that. She was in Castle, 1 episode. She was in 2016. Really? She was in Woo Assassins TV series for 2 episodes. And then she was in Control Alt Destroy in 2021, a podcast
I don't remember
series.
seeing her on Castle.
She's just hardly done anything. She was in Arrow for 9 episodes. Oh, shit. I forgot about that. She was in Knights of Badassdom. She played Gwen. That's a good movie. I enjoyed that movie. She really doesn't seem to be interested in doing a lot of work. I don't know. I'm going to have to do a deep dive and find out what the hell she's doing now.
Well, she probably spent her money wisely, didn't spend it at all, invested it, and now she doesn't have to work unless she wants to.
Or she just figured out that being an actress doesn't work for her.
That's true. So
it's like Jolene Blaylock. I thought she was great in Enterprise. Okay.
Yeah.
And she wasn't bad to look at either, but she's done virtually nothing. Almost nothing since then.
She was on Stargate too.
And in Starship
Troopers. Yeah, but that's years ago, Anima.
Yeah, she retired, I think. She didn't want the publicity. She never did any conventions or anything, so she doesn't want to be a public figure.
And she is married with children, so there you go.
That's a huge reason for not being public, having kids.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sending you something in the private chat. Oh, I don't know. That might be too long. Yeah, that link is too long. It's way too long. Anyway. I guess we can talk about Skull Island now. I'll talk about it because I don't think anybody's watched it. I think I'm the only person that's watched it so far.
I haven't. Yeah, I haven't had time to watch it.
I just watched the first episode. I want to know if it's going to be any good. That's all I really cared.
Last night, and I was so close to watch the first episode, but I went with another show with shorter episodes because I was falling asleep. And I love Kong, and I didn't want to lose anything.
And you don't see Kong in the first episode. I'm going to just tell you that. The first episode is you get introduced to the characters. You meet the kid on the ship with his dad. They're off on some sort of research thing, but you also meet this girl who's on another ship, and she's handcuffed, and people are chasing her. And I don't know what's going on that ship, but apparently they think it's okay to handcuff and threaten a kid. And she seems to be like one of those eco people. So maybe that's why. I mean, we all hate fucking eco people. They're just annoying. Greenpeace people, they sound again like Randall. Oh, you have but you're insane. It's like, you've got a good point, but you're crazy at the same time. That's Greenpeace people. They're just crazy. Great ideas from crazy minds. And so she's running to escape from these people Does a really cool job. Great animation. I really do like the animation. It's your standard Warner Brothers, DC Studios kind of animation style, but this time it's with Kong or Skull Island, and she escapes the boat by starting a fire on the deck and dives off because one of the dinghies got launched, and she dives down to get on that. But we don't see what happens to her after that. It then cuts to the research vessel with the main character and his dad and all the researchers that are with him and team. And he's, the kid is like at that age where he's being annoying with his dad. It's like, yeah, but this, he says, this is your research. It's not mine. It's ours. I pay you to be here. Do you really pay me? And it's one of those typical fucking bullshit arguments between a dad and a son. Seen him, been there, participated. It's real. And he kind of goes off to the deck to mope about the situation because he doesn't want to be out on this vessel. He wants to be. He even makes a comment. I want to go into debt for college. And his dad's like, "What?" And he goes, "Well, I don't really want to go into debt." It's like typical fucking teenager logic. And he goes out on the deck to clear his mind, and just so happens to be there at the right moment to look down and see this girl no longer in the boat. She's floating along. She's clearly injured, and she begins to sink. And he ties a rope to the ship and then to himself and dives into the water, catches her, brings her up. They get him on deck, and she's clearly handcuffed, by the way, again. And she begins to give warnings that there is this thing, something giant, that destroyed her boat, that she was on. And immediately the ship comes under a bizarre attack at first. It was like one of those moments where because squid have two tentacles that are really weird. They're not
only
shaped
the
like
males
any other.
one.
Yeah, the male ones, and therefore used in mating. But they're also used. They're like feelers. They're just, and so you see this scene where it's like, I think it's the captain of the boat is out there looking at it, like, what on earth is that? Is it looking at me, kind of thing? And then next thing you know, it's full on squid attack, and the captain ends up. I'm assuming he died. I don't know. I haven't seen episode 2, but he gets caught in a net and is underwater, seeing this thing, witnessing it, and it sees him. And they're looking at each other. And then he panics because he's so in awe underwater that he's looking at this thing. He forgets, oh, I might drown. And then the drowning fear kicks in and he can't get out of the net. And I don't know what happened to him. I really don't. I'm hoping in the second episode we find out that either he drowned or he somehow managed to break loose from that net. And the ship gets ripped in half by the squid. And it eats some of the crew. And it's the first kaiju you see is this giant squid.
Well, they were hungry.
Well, of course, it's just, he's hungry. He just needed a snack. Do you think I'm not even going to go there, Monkey.
Oh, Monkey has been really dark with it.
Yeah, I thought my joke was bad. Jesus Christ, Monkey. Oh. How did
okay, I have to say this. His jokes about the thing are dark, but they're funny.
It is.
What can I say?
It's just I'm not going to read it out loud because I don't want to go to hell. If hell exists, I don't want to go there.
Oh no, that you're fucked already.
So many ways, I really am. I mean, I was one of those guys telling the Richard Gere gerbil jokes back in the 80s.
I believe that.
You know who started it? Stallone. Stallone got into a beef with him in making a movie together, The Lords of Flatbush. And they got into the back of his car, Stallone's car, and it was leather upholstery, and he had his leather outfit on, and he was eating his lunch. He was trying to be very careful not to get mess on anything. And I don't know if it was a gyro or what the fuck, Richard Gere had maybe it was a chili dog, but either way it goes, he jumps into the car with Stallone, having this food that clearly is messy as fuck, and Stallone warns him, threatens him, "You get anything on me or my upholstery, I'm gonna fucking kick your ass." And he did, and a fight ensued between them. And I don't know if anybody landed any punches. All I know is that Stallone went to the producers and said, "I'm gone or he's fired. You make your decision." And they fired Richard Gere. And they've had a beef with each other ever since. And Richard, according to the rumor mill out of Hollywood, Stallone is the one who started the whole gerbil of Richard Gere's ass. Doesn't mean it's not true. It's just funny as fuck that Stallone, the fucking shit between him and Arnold. They didn't fuck around, but they grew to be friends. Whereas Richard fucking Stallone fucking hated that guy, hated him for getting stuff on his leather. After he warned him, "If hell exists, they are just waiting for me to take over." Yeah, I'm not going any place. I'm not going anywhere where you're in charge, monkey. Not going to happen. If there's such thing as double suicide after you die, I'm doing it. But the first episode, the animation looks really good on this show. I'm ready to watch some more of Skull Island. I'm curious because the trailer of Kong looks really good. I like the way they draw Kong. He's very anthropomorphic, so you get a lot of expression with him. And by the way, Martin, you asked the question about the original Kong animated series from when I was a kid, and I love that show. And I seem to remember that there was a Kong posable figure that was sold when I was a kid. And I used to play Kong with that ranch set, cowboy western ranch set. Had a barn and fence posts and stuff, horses and stuff, and I'd have Kong walking around because he was bigger than them. It was fun. I like that.
Kind of like that movie back in the 70s, I think it was. Billy the Kid versus Dracula.
Oh my God, no, it was the 60s. It was late 50s, early 60s. Yeah. Billy the Kid. They also had that other one too that came out before it, I think, called oh my God, we're Cowboys versus Dinosaurs. Quasi, it's got a weird name. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name.
Yeah, kind of.
Quanji.
Oh, Quanji. Yeah, right.
That was a fun movie. But yeah, I remember Billy the Kid versus Dracula. That shit was good. I like those movies. Bad movies that are fun. Billy the Kid was 5'4". Mm-hmm.
But that 6-gun made him real big.
Yep. He was a big fan of Fuck Around and Find Out. He killed a few people.
You don't say.
Is Comic Division here today? I see Mighty Orbots. I don't know if I mentioned him. He, of course, was here. Oh, that was from earlier. I was like, Bill Skywalker.
Oh, Lady B, I did not like that movie.
It had so many problems. The comic was pretty good. I just don't think it got treated well in the cinematic experience.
Yeah, Harrison Ford played two different characters in the movie at the same time. His character was so badly written.
Yeah, you'd think that Harrison Ford would know better, but
Well, he killed Han Solo, and he wants to kill Indiana Jones' legacy, so I wouldn't put my money on his taste.
I always told people, as big a fan of Harrison Ford as I was, part of the reason why I didn't want to interview him wasn't just because he's a curmudgeonly old dude. It's also because I have an issue with draft dodgers. And he didn't want to serve. And so he was going to go with whatever, he had to do to avoid. And then he found out that he had a deferment later and used the deferment. But he was ready to lie, leave the country, what have you. That always bugs me when people do that. Where is the attitude coming from today? Do you not watch me? I'm a dick.
Haven't you met Gerry before?
Yeah, it's like you're new here, Levi.
Seriously.
First time on the show or what?
No, she's fucking around. She's fucking around and gonna find out.
One thing is for sure, Anima's going to heaven.
But Don and I both, we dislike draft dodgers. We don't like them. I think after that incident when you and I had that certain movie director friend of mine on, and he said that to you and me, when our friendship ended, I was okay with it. Because that really bugged me that he said that. It's really stuck.
Well, you know, it's funny because growing up, most of my life, honest to God, John Wayne was a hero of mine. And when he died, and I can tell you the date, I'm check me to make sure I'm correct, June 11th, 1979. When I heard that, a tear came to my eye. And it was only later when I really began looking into why he never served. And he basically was a freaking draft dodger. That totally unseated him from anybody
he could have
I really
served
liked.
and still done what he did. I was really pissed that he did that because there are a lot of people in Hollywood who still served, but managed to stay stateside and do their job that they're good at because the Army needed publicity. And they could have worked with him. He was listed as 4F for the same thing as Frank Sinatra. I think it was punctured eardrum, perforated eardrum, one or the other, same thing. But then later it was stated that he had a family deferment because he was the only breadwinner for his family. And but I still look at that. Look, did he do good? Yeah, he did. He did a lot of good for this country. But I was kind of offended when Maureen O'Hara and what's her name went before Congress over John Wayne. And I was like, that's a bridge too far with me. Do you remember that?
No.
Let me look it up. Maureen O'Hara, Senate, John Wayne. Because they were trying to do something. Here it is. There's a video of it. I don't know. This is in 79. I think it was right after he died. Let me do share screen. Boom. And here we go.
You're not actually sharing. Let me.
Yep.
It said it was sharing audio.
Well, it wasn't sharing at all. I had to bring it up.
It was not your typical congressional hearing. In fact, it looked more like backstage at Oscar night. Mariah McLaughlin has the story.
Leadoff witness was the sponsor of the bill, Representative Barry Goldwater, who said Duke Wayne has earned his place in history and a place of special affection in the hearts of all Americans.
Few people are given the title the. There's the President, the Pope, the Queen, and the Duke.
Fellow actors urged the committee to approve the medal honoring Wayne.
I beg you to strike the medal for Duke, to order the president to strike it. And I feel that the medal should say just one thing: John Wayne, America.
He has given much to America, and he has given to the whole world what an American is supposed to be like. Kids today, and myself, Talk about cool. Well, Big John is one cool cat.
Congressional Gold Medal for John Wayne has already been approved by the Senate. The medal has been awarded 83 times. Recipients include George Washington and Walt Disney. Mariah McLaughlin, CBS News, Washington.
And there you go. I mean, that happened in '79, same year he died. And look, I have mixed feelings about John Wayne. And the one thing I always do like about him is he was very anti-communist. He made movies about anti-communism. Big John McClane. I mean, what a great movie with him and James Arness, who was a real warrior. You know, and they play FBI agents in Hawaii fighting communists. Do you guys remember that?
Sure. Yeah.
Has one of my favorite moments at the end of the film, because Arness's character gets murdered. It's Wayne's partner in the movie, and at the end he finally gets the bad guys, and he walks over there and he's like, well, they're going to use the Constitution, the very piece of paper that they want to destroy, to defend their case. And I'm like, that's exactly what they did. And it's exactly what they still do. Communists are awful, man. They're really horrible, horrible fucking people. And alone for his fight against communism in Hollywood, I will always commend him. Oh, Anima's killing the cats.
No, that's Loki fucking around in the kitchen.
Oh, is Loki fucking around and gonna find out?
Just knocking things off the counter.
He's like, fuck you and your show.
He's being a cat. That's how we know that the earth can't be flat, because if the earth was flat, it would be empty, because cats would have pushed everything over the edge.
Everything off the edge. Yep. But you know, and again, I'm always divided with John Wayne. Because I'm always going to be a fan of his movies, period. It's just period. I'm a big fan. But I really did like him because he was very pro-America. His movie, The Alamo, not great. Got history wrong.
Well, historically, The Alamo, hey, look, as a kid, I swear to God, if I saw that movie once, I saw it 85 times. I loved that movie. Historically, was a mess, okay, but the movie itself,
it's factual but not accurate.
Right.
You know, because we all know, you and I know, Jim Bowie did not die that way. He had a horrible death. He was sick and wounded, and he was bayoneted to death. Probably
Travis took a bullet to the head. That's what killed him.
Yep. It was a brutal event.
And Davy Crockett probably tried to surrender. Crockett tried to surrender, and they bayoneted him and slashed him to death.
No prisoners. Santa Anna.
Anna gave I don't think anybody tried to surrender, because they were hearing the trumpets and singing
the march.
At the Guello, yes.
I don't know if I should trust you, Martin, with that accent.
That signifies. Oh, you will be gravely mistaken.
I told you I've got a first-class ticket to hell when I die. Good Lord. By the way, a lot of people don't realize that Maureen O'Hara, she was actually from Ireland. I think she's from Donegal, Ireland. And so her accent is real. I hope that you give this award to John, the Duke.
Back in the day, she was quite the babe, too.
My God, The Quiet Man is absolutely one of my favorite movies of all time. I got to watch it with Anima, because I'm probably going to repeat a scene from that movie with her just to annoy her. And she doesn't know what I'm talking about. She goes, oh God, what am I into now? What's going to happen?
I'm always in that mindset, Gerry, with you.
But it's a romantic comedy. And I do believe I'm going to do a timing on this. I'm going to time the fight scenes, 3 specific movies. The fight scene from They Live, the fight scene from The Big Country with between Gregory Peck and Heston. Because at the point when that movie was made, The Big Country, it was the longest fight scene as far as duration. And then I think They Live won. I think it got the longest fight. But in the interim was the other film. And it had one of those long scenes, is the Quiet Man.
We have 1 minute to go.
Victor McLaughlin. That fight scene was long, and it went over miles too. From the pub back to the house. A fight scene. I don't know if you guys, I got to do that movie. I don't know, on a Saturday maybe. I love that movie. What a great film, Quiet Man. But Duke spanked her in at least 2 movies. Yep, that's true. North to Alaska. Was that, or was it the other one?
I thought it was McClintock.
It was, or as they said, McClintock. But it is McClintock.
We have to rap. We have to rap.
I don't want to rap. I don't know how to do rap. I mean, I hate being white.
Just do it.
John, he's all yours, man.
You just did Arnold live on the show, Anima.
Yes, I know.
Do it now. All right.
It's an exception.
I know.
I won't do it again.
Penny, Andy Morrow, War Monkey, D. Bud Martin, Bush McFadden, Decepticons Cave of Villains. Oh, wait, no. Comics and Toys. Cam's Crash Courses, Cocho, Real Wade Nation Gaming, Joe's Atmosphere, Zax, Lady V Elements, Mighty Orbots, Monkey Jeebus. Thank you, come again. It has been a wonderfully weird
He's
show.
still coming for Gary's ass because he goes overtime.
Yeah, Skywalker. But hey, Bill, I'm really curious. What do you think of the show today?
Ma, I'm doing a show. Actually, because we are running out of time, can I end it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Ma, I'm ending the show.
Bye, guys.
Those sons of bitches. Ma, I'm doing a show.
Hey, Ma.